What's up, everybody? It's Bear with BearIndependent.com. This is the Second Amendment, which we believe in. We are here at a facility that produces ammunition, and we want to talk to you about why you're having a hard time finding this. Well, you probably aren't having a hard time finding this. This is 50. But there's a lot of market effects going on outside of the standard fear-mongering preparedness channel talking points that we want to walk you through. Literally, we are with industry insiders right now and getting the real deal on what's the story with the ammo scarcity. Stand by. All right, so you saw this facility that we're at. Is it the world's largest ammo manufacturing facility? It is not. Is it significantly larger than what you got your Dillon press in your garage? Absolutely. That one machine is chunking out 120 rounds a minute. 5.56, 62 grain M855 right now.
And they said that's actually not what it's capable of. It can do more. Yeah, that's what it's at now.
So we've had an opportunity to get to meet these people, and no, I'm not going to tell you where we are at or who they are or anything like that. But we had about a 45-minute, maybe an hour-long conversation with the owner here, who has been in the industry for decades, not a week or two or a year or two, decades. And we were talking about ammo availability and pricing, because it seems as if right now the pricing is at the top of what the market will bear. People don't want to pay $1 a round for 5.56. And he said, well, here's the deal. What they have now, meaning the global industry, is short on brass, is short on powder. Primers are coming back, but not where they need to be. And bullets are not a problem. They can get the bullets. But the brass for the cartridges, even the raw material to make the cartridges, the casings themselves, and the powder, they just can't get. And they are necessarily, we want to debunk a couple of myths here as far as all of the chatter in the prepper world based upon what this one industry insider said. Yes, the military and the government are buying a lot of ammo. All around the world, militaries and governments are buying a lot of ammo. The reason, per this gentleman, that they're buying a lot of ammo is because they haven't bought any ammo in 18 months because of COVID. But they didn't stop shooting.
Yeah.
So they are replenishing their own stocks of ammunition. They haven't purchased any new ammunition in roughly 12 to 18 months, but they've continued shooting. So that has put a major demand on ammunition manufacturers, as well as the component suppliers, the powder, the primers, the casings, the bullets, to be able to keep up with that. And those contracts are confirmed, are getting priority. So that's true. The government is buying a lot of ammunition. they're not buying a lot of ammunition because they want to go to war with you or me or anybody else.
Yep. Which I asked specifically.
Yes.
I did ask. I was like, is that because they're ramping up for something? He said, no, they're just behind.
Yeah. The government carries a certain inventory of everything. Huge logistics system, DOD, U.S. military. And their inventory of ammunition that they currently possess is super low. So they are replenishing that inventory. They're not ramping up for anything, per this gentleman. They are replenishing their inventory. And I know there's people who are going to say, well, I heard it from my cousin's third uncle who's in the 5th Battalion. And maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm telling you what this gentleman who's been over 30 years in the industry has said. And he knows names and people and manufacturers that would blow your mind. So the government is buying a lot of ammunition. Also, the component manufacturers cannot keep up. They have also been shut down due to COVID. And you're talking, this is international now.
Yep.
They've been shut down, so their production lines have been closed. I think he said most of them have been closed at least twice.
Yeah, he said like pretty much everybody got closed at least twice. He said some were 3 times. You can't just shut down the world. We keep hitting on that. It doesn't work that way. Your supplies are coming from somewhere, which I asked about. I said, so where is, let's say, the powder coming from? And he told me. He's like, all right, so it's coming from there. Well, that ain't here, which means it's got to come multiple steps across the world to get to where it's being made.
Specifically, the powder that they're bringing in right now is coming from Australia.
Yep.
But there's a shipping restriction for any ship that's coming past New Zealand cannot carry more than 1 container full of powder at a time. So, 1 container full of about 40,000 pounds, which seems like a lot. To load 1 million rounds of 5.56, you need 5,000 pounds of powder, roughly-ish. So, do the math on that.
Yeah, so that's why we can't seem to get ammo that's cheap anymore. And we asked him about that too. So when do you foresee, as somebody in the industry, with it coming back to pre-COVID prices? Because man, it was nice, wasn't it? Being able to go and spend 30 cents a round on some nice stuff, right?
Yep.
And now when you're talking about $1 round, so I asked that question. He said 2 years at minimum, without anything else weird going on.
Yep, 2 years at a minimum. And so what that means is if you can get ammunition, you should get it. If you can get it at your farm store, get it. If you can get it at your hardware store, get it. If the Walmart near you still has ammo, get it. You can get it here at aolasdefense.com. We've had many people say that ammunition is too expensive. Maybe it is too expensive compared to what? And that's the thing. Many times we are still living in this pre-COVID paradigm, like where our brain thinks that things should be pre-COVID, but the reality is we are post-COVID. And again, this industry insider, the gentleman who runs this manufacturing plant, said it's going to be a couple of years at least, if nothing else goes stupid, before prices reasonably level out. Another fascinating thing that was said was that there's no margin in 9mm. It's
that was interesting.
1.5 cents per round margin in 9mm.
Yep.
And that made me think that this opportunity, my businessman side of my brain started clicking, that if I was in an ammo manufacturing, you see a $15 box of 50 rounds of 9mm 115 FMJ, and you're like, that's a reasonable price. Well, you realize in that, there's 75 cents worth of profit in that box. And so if I was an ammunition manufacturer, now that the prices have gone up, I would not come back to $15 a box because I'm only making 75 cents on that box of ammunition.
In fact, compared to that, you wouldn't make any money.
Right.
Yeah.
So there will be in my opinion, the prices across the board are going to go up and then level off at a higher price than what they were before COVID. Just say nothing of the fact of the devaluation of the US dollar. You can add 10% right there just to the purchasing power of the US dollar. So
what was also fascinating too, you kind of observe the production power here and get to pick their brain. And among the things that they mentioned is everybody's trying to buy all at once, everybody. So it's not just you and me, it's the US, it's China, it's It's Europe. It's,
and it's
everybody.
every
is
agency, every department,
Yep.
every government, there's a worldwide ammunition shortage. That was one of the things that was discussed, was that in Europe, the European civilian market is actually buying literal tons of ammunition right now as well. And I tend to think of them as a bunch of, you know, limp-wristed, you know, anti-gunners, exactly. But right now, not the case. They're buying up literal tons of ammunition as well.
Another thing we brought up that we saw in some comments recently in reference to the overprice of ammo, maybe, right? Overprice. Is, well, I'm able to find it X, Y, and Z location for this price now. Dude, rock on. Awesome. Good for you. Buy that stuff. I would. The problem is, from what we're being told right now, today, is that that's the case for right now, today. In a few months, their projections are showing it's gonna do this again on price.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. You said it's another 60 to 90 days before the current inventory is gone. That's it, 60 to 90 days, current inventory is gone, and then they're looking at about 2 years for replenishment.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying we hold the ultimate authority in what's happening in the ammunition space, but I am saying this is the truth as we understand it with ammunition right now. The prices that you're seeing are the prices that we've got. If you can buy ammo, you should buy ammo, because it's not going to be available. It's not going to get better anytime soon. 4 different major manufacturers of ammunition are currently not operating because they can't get components. The component manufacturers are not operating because they can't get raw materials, and the raw material producers are not operating, or are operating at limited capacity because of COVID and the labor shortage. And then you have Port of Los Angeles is only operating at 25% capacity currently. So containers coming in are being processed at 1/5 the rate that they used to be processed at, and you can only now move 1 container of black powder at a time from one of the predominant suppliers of black powder in the world. So all these forces are constricting the ammunition availability, and because there's constricted availability, scarcity breeds value. The price of that ammunition has necessarily gone up, and it's not going to get better anytime soon.
You know, something else I found interesting was, and we know this is the case, but actually hear it said out loud. We were told that, you know, these government contracts have to be filled, so they're taking priority. So of the however much powder's coming in, they're taking however much they require to fill those orders, because they take priority. The reason I find that interesting is that's not going to be just with ammo. That explains, to my mind, more of why we're seeing other things.
Great point.
In limited or weird quantities. My wife just yesterday texted me, and I'm not saying that the government's buying up all luggage, but my wife was looking for a suitcase because she's going on a trip. She went to 3 or 4 different stores and sent me photos of the aisle just empty of suitcases, to the point where the one she bought was a unicorn suitcase, because that's what they had.
That's what she could get.
That's what she found. And I was like, what an anomaly, right? Well, then we talk here today. I'm not saying that the government's buying all the other suitcases. What I'm saying is those materials are made to use on things, right? Not just suitcases. So I could rationalize that there are other larger, more important entities that are taking the raw materials for almost anything, right? I could rationalize that.
So if you can find ammo, buy it. If you can't find ammo, it's at Aeolus Defense right there. AEOLUS Defense.
At least for now.
At least for right now. And it's not going to get better anytime soon. And I know there's going to be a bazillion comments down here below. That's not what I can get ammo. But 10-4. Go for it. This is our real world experience. We're here on the ground doing it, meeting these people, shaking hands, touring their facilities, getting this actual feedback. And
we've actually spent a lot of time in the last couple of days talking to people that actually do things in expertise fields.
That know what they're talking about. Yeah. So, bless y'all. Tell us in the comments as well. How much ammo is too much ammo? How much you got? How much you trying to buy? Yeah, I'll never tell you, Bear. I know you won't. Shield Bearer of Faith, Patreon and YouTube. Bear Independent, Patreon, YouTube.com. Click the baby bear for the Patreon. Bless y'all. Shalom.